What are your favorite animated horror films? Past Frankenweenie, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Coraline, and The Corpse Bride, and maybe a few of those classic Scooby-Doo cartoons. There really aren't a lot of them, and especially there aren't a lot of them that have been made recently. Well, taking advantage of our shut-down times, it appears some filmmakers have decided to make some potent horror cartoons. And in this video, we're going to look at 3 of them. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights, a part of the Kings of Horror Network. I'm ML Miller. I wanted to start out by reminding folks to give this video a like, share with your buddies across the electronic superhighway, click subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to ring that bell for notifications. Please get the word out to new folks so we can make this channel bigger and better. Be on the lookout for a new Kickstarter campaign for an anthology I participated in called Nightmare Theater. This is a collection of short horror stories made by a whole gaggle of talented souls. The project is being helmed by David Schrader and Clay Adams. I paired up with my pirouette artist extraordinaire, Carlos Granda, for a morbidly fun morality tale to filmgoers who dare break the rules of common courtesy in the wrong theater. If you're interested in fun, scary, and gory horror, please support the Nightmare Theater Kickstarter campaign. Look below for the link. The first of our animated trio is To Your Last Death, which was released recently on demand, digital download, and Blu-ray DVD from Quiver Distributions. To Your Last Death was directed by Jason Axinn and written by Jim Cirile and Tanya C. Klein. When a rich businessman, Cyrus DeKalb, voiced by Ray Wise, invites his 4 children to his corporate building to discuss his will, they come a-runnin'. His activist daughter Miriam, voiced by Danny Lennon, seems to be the only one of the 4 with an ounce of soul, and this is recognized by the Games Master, voiced by Gotham's Monica Baccarin, who plays a game with Miriam and her siblings' lives for the amusement of a group of celestial beings. The Games Master's goal is to tell the best possible story, so when Miriam begins making decisions that don't amuse her and her crew, she resets the story to tell a better tale. When Cyrus reveals that he has lured his children there to murder them, he sets loose a group of sadistic guards and plays even more sadistic games of death with them. The voice acting here is top tier. To Your Last Death stars some incredible voice talent. The key to voicing these films are to get some distinct and recognizable voices. Ray Wise is great, as not only his animated character looks exactly like him, but he has a voice that is immediately recognizable. Another standout is Bill Moseley, who has another distinct voice that fits the creepy character he plays. And while I love looking at the beautiful Monica Baccarin, she also provides a powerful and seductive voice of the Games Master, and it works amazingly. All of that, and add William Shatner as the omniscient narrator, and you simply can't go wrong. Animated in an Archer-like style, I really love the look of To Your Last Death. The artwork is extremely detailed, and while the people move a little stiffly, the action is communicated in a very fluid way. To Your Last Death is a brutal and bloody little story where body parts are hacked off, shot to pieces, and bashed in. There's a lot of spatter to spare here, and if you're looking for effects that most likely would cost a fortune to film or might be damn near unfilmable, this is where you can find it. This is a wild ride as the story is set and reset, allowing people with multiple lives and multiple gory deaths. This gives the film a sort of video game format where the lead, Miriam, goes through the motions of the story a few times before she realizes the rules of the game she's participating in. This makes up for a bit of tedium as the viewer kind of knows the deal before Miriam does, and it takes a bit of time for her to catch up. Still, I found To Your Last Death to be a non-stop splatterfest that might have benefited from a stronger edit or 3 in the latter half, but still managed to keep me entertained thoroughly. To Your Last Death is an in-your-face and extreme style of cartoon that reminds me of the Bad Girl era of comic books in the 90s. The actions are broad, the boobs are big, and the blood is spattered all over the place. This is a bawdy and brash style of fun that you really don't get much of these days, and I'm glad To Your Last Death brings buckets of it for our viewing enjoyment. Next up is Attack of the Demons, its new on-demand and digital download from Darkstar Pictures. Attack of the Demons is directed by Eric Power and written by Andreas Petersen. Attack of the Demons tells the story of three 20-somethings who happen into one another a few years after graduation when their small town hosts a music festival. The three never really knew each other in high school, but they vaguely remember one another and find some camaraderie, though their main interests vary from video games to movies to music. When a cultist casts a spell at the closing act of the concert, it spreads a demon virus that mutates the population and intends to resurrect a dark god from another dimension. Retreating to the surrounding woods, the three kids are the only ones who have a chance to stop these monsters and maybe the end of the world. Utilizing a South Park art style which looks like it's made from construction paper cutouts, but more likely simply made to look that way with a fancy computer program, Attack of the Demons tells a fun story about growing up and growing apart from what is comfortable. This theme is revisited numerous times throughout Attack of the Demons, as the main three characters are either realizing they have evolved past their lifetime hobbies, are no longer interested in the relationship they're in, or moving on from being trapped in this small town that is the center of all the action. These themes are relatable, as it captures that time in life where one questions the path they are stuck in, and wondering if there might be better paths to take. Because these themes are so strong, it makes these cardboard cutouts look, feel, and sound much more human than most traditionally made horror films out there. The same rudimentary charm that permeates South Park are present in Attack the Demons. After a short while, I forgot that these were construction paper cutouts and felt like they were real characters. Yes, the movements are stiff and limited, but the artists are able to convey a lot with very little. They also are able to translate a hell of a lot of gore, and while it's done simply, it is a lot of fun seeing these simple forms spattered and dismembered all over the place. The spell cast over the town melts people into one another to form compound creatures out of their combined parts. The designs are well realized, and seeing our trio of reluctant warriors take them out is a hell of a good time. The tone of Attack of the Demons has a laid-back feel to it that isn't as much like the hyperactive South Park and more akin to the tone of Daria or King of the Hill. The pace is slightly slow, and there is a sort of slacker feel to the attitudes of the voice actors that doesn't translate to the most exciting of experience. I was never bored, but the animation has a slower pace that you don't often see in most hyperactive animation, which I'm used to experiencing at a much more manic pace. Still, I can tell a lot of thought and care was put into this story, and the animation makes Attack of the Demons a deeper, yet still gory kind of cartoon. Last and certainly not least is Shudder's exclusive A Creepshow animated special. This premiered on Shudder this week. It's directed by Greg Nicotero. It's written by Greg Nicotero and Melanie Dale. And the two short stories that are adapted are Survivor Type by Stephen King and Twittering from the Circus of the Dead by Joe Hill. Just in time for Halloween, Shudder offers up 2 animated episodes in their acclaimed series Creepshow. These 2 shorts have the same type of format, but tell 2 vastly different yet equally terrifying little tales. The first story, Survivor Type, is my all-time favorite Stephen King short story, but due to the format it's written in, it's quite a different tale to adapt. This one tells the story of a survivor in a boat crash, voiced by Kiefer Sutherland, who washes up on a deserted island. He's a surgeon and also in possession of quite a lot of heroin, but not a lot of food. Desperation sets in, causing the surgeon to dine on the only meat he has available to him, his own. This is a truly harrowing tale, told in gory detail and mapping out the slow descent into madness of one desperate man. I love the way this story tells insanity by inches, making every step of this man's mind slipping believable and told in a vividly descriptive way. While it involves tweeting, which is honestly one of my least favorite things in the world, Twittering from the Circus of the Dead takes the fun of the big top and twists it into something truly sinister. Just as his father's Survivor Type is told as a set of journal entries, writer Joe Hill's Twittering from the Circus of the Dead is told in tweets. Thankfully, the story is brisk and descriptive, told by a Twitter-happy narrator, played by Joey King, instead of telling a story through flashbacks and inner thoughts, which worked in Survivor Type. The immediate format of Twitter makes for a flawed transition as it highlights that there really isn't a lot going on in the tweeter's head other than exactly what they're seeing. I love the imaginative mix of horror and the circus, but the story format didn't lend itself to tell a layered tale as the first section did. Maybe if this one would have simply typed out the Twitter without vocal narration, it might have been more interesting. But the constant narration, views of the screen typing out the exact same words, and the action going on all depicts the same thing overlapping, providing a redundant story that has trouble being adapted into this medium. This is another one that is challenging to adapt, and I don't think it was as successful as the first story. I wanted to point out that the animation was supervised by Eric Powell. Powell has entertained the comic book readers for years with his highly imaginative comic, The Goon, and I'm happy to see him show up doing the comic book pages of the Creepshow comic within the story and the animation in this episode. I found the first Creepshow season to be hit or miss. This special shows that the series has matured into something truly special, and I hope there are many more installments of Creepshow to come. Until then, check out this Halloween animated special. It's short and sweet, clocking in at 45 minutes, but filled with true terror and gore told by two masters of the medium and adapted with care and skill by showrunner Greg Nicotero. So while I always enjoy watching Mad Madam Mim take on Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and Linus and Lucy miss trick-or-treating again this year, here are a few new cartoon horrors that are scary good as well. That'll be it for today. If you like this video, please pound that thumbs up button. Share this video with your social media addicted pals. If you're looking for written reviews, you can find them on mlmillerwrites.com. Don't forget I have 2 new horror comic book trade paperbacks for you to look for. GRAVETRANCERS is out right now, and Pirouette, collecting never-before-published issues, will be out in late November, early December, Diamond Order Code APR 201712. And be sure to subscribe to this channel, and ring that bell for alerts to be the first to see my future videos. Thanks so much for your time, and take care.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're